So, hi everybody and welcome back to the Unreal Engine 5 full game tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is the series for the second game, and the second game we want to make in 7 days because the first game I tried to make in 40 days and this second game in 7 days. 7 days means it is much harder, but I will use, or let's say mark play assets so that I have not to create all from scratch. And I hope this will work. So with that said, that is our start in this video, and we start with planning because all things need a plan, right? So the first thing is I want to recreate a game which was the topic in the Mega Jam of Epic Mega Jam 2022 with the theme. Let's write the theme here. It was, I think, as above, so below. I think that was the theme. All right, that is the theme, and now we have to brainstorm ideas because if you have given a theme, you should try to find good ideas for this theme. In general, when you make a game, you don't need this theme, but then you need to think more the direction of your game genre, which would be if you are making a FPS game, or if you make a strategy game, or a puzzle game, or platformer game, or VR game, or whatever. But yeah, you have to think about this. In this case, we have to think about this as well, but we have also this theme here, which we have to consider. And yeah, in this part, I just collect some ideas. I already thought here a little bit already, and in general, when you participate in a mega jam or in a jam at all, where you have limited time, they say you should spend a lot of thinking about the theme. That's not true, because you should not to spend too much about thinking about the theme, because you have limited time. You need time for working, which means you should spend perhaps 1-2 hours or 3-4 max. That's a little bit too much already. I think so 2 hours for a theme, 2-3 hours max, but not more, because you need the first day, the second day, and the third day where you have to power as much as you can to finish your game when you have, for example, 7 days, so that you have this other days, this 4 or 5 days to make additional work, plus, very important, if you watch my other first game, plus testing your game, because there will be bugs and you have to fix these bugs, and that can break the whole game. So that's the point, that you have to work the first 3 days really powerful, hard. And if you spend then some hours just for a theme topic, that's not a good idea. Like I said, you can spend 1-3 hours max, I would say, but not more. That's too much waste of time. And you still can change it later, I think, too, but don't spend too much time. But when you make a general game, then spend as much as you want. But not in a jam where you have only 7 days. And like I said, the game what I want to make is also 7 days. So let's think here about some ideas. And I have already some ideas. But what you can do is all time make a brainstorming. Brainstorming means you put your theme, let's say, to put it here in the middle, something like so. And then you throw in here ideas around. And later you choose these ideas which you really like, but first of all, you just throw any ideas in it without thinking too much if it's good or it's bad. So like, all right, I have already ideas. Let's write horror. I don't know if this is good. Let's write fantasy. I don't know. Then let's write here small, perhaps. And let's write here fast. I don't know. I want to make it fast. And let's write here assets. I don't know what this has to do, but just throw in. Don't think too much. The idea is here that you associate with this theme anything, and yeah, we will see if you need it or don't need it, because we can kick it, like I said. And let's throw in some more, and that's enough. Let's see. As above, as below. What can we do as above? Mirror. Perhaps this one. Mirror. I don't know. Or we can do here worlds, different worlds, something like that. Underground, I don't know, underground. And yeah, you get the idea. You throw in anything what you like, and I throwed in something I think not even very thought about much, but that's the point. You don't have too much thinking. Just throw in what you think about this one, as above, as below, so below. Too much work. Too much work. Too much work. This is also very important that you write something like that, because this sounds like too much work, right? So it's okay. Too much work. Then let's throw in, okay, let's say that's the first step. We have some ideas. So of course you can make here a little bit more ideas and perhaps a little bit more better ideas, but in my case that's good. So the next step is, after you have some ideas, you have to choose, you want to make a game, and which of these ideas can make a game. So let's take here perhaps, I don't know, first of all, let's select this and order this a little bit. So let's do this here so that I have here a circle more or less. And later I can kick out some. So this is a little bit a circle. Now I think a little bit and say, okay, I'm interested in horror because I already have a horror engine. I showed you this in the last video, asset. If you have already assets or anything like that, because I said in 7 days is really less day, and I want reuse assets. I'm not a designer. I'm very bad in designing, so I need assets which are created by designers and made available, for example, for free or on the marketplace or anywhere else in the internet. Just I need free assets, and I have horror game assets already. That's why I say this one I need assets. I need too much work. Yes, I know that will be too much work. Here I have to think how I can I need this. So let's say I need this horror, I need assets, and this one should be connected anyhow, because assets and horror assets, let's put them anyhow together here. Our assets, okay. Let's see, fast, mirror. Mirror I don't want, because here you can think now, okay, mirror, do you want to make something like a mirror? Because when you read this theme as above, below, be mirror, for example, split screen is a mirror, or there are many things about mirror. Mirror itself is abstract, very abstract anyhow, but I think I kicked this. Don't waste time, because I already have an idea. Oops, this was the wrong one. Let's kick this one out. I don't need this. This one I still keep. Too much work, yes. This one I have to consider. This one sounds anyhow strange, but oops. This one you have really to consider, because that you don't make too much work, that you try to avoid too much work. So this one is still helpful. Let's keep this fantasy. Do I need some fantasy here? It is fantasy anyway, but the word fantasy I don't need. That was just thrown in, so let's delete this. I don't need that. Different worlds? I don't need different worlds, it's too complex. Let's kick this. Small, yes. Small is good. I want something very small, because if I make something very big in 7 days, it will be not finished. So too much work and small works very nice together. Let's put this one anyhow together. All right, let's put this one here. So, and let's say underground. Yes, underground I need underground, because in my horror game I thought already a little bit more than what I put here in. I need underground, but the question is if I need to create an underground. That's another question, and I don't need anything. I can make this underground anyhow. I don't know. This is not very specific. And small, too much work, and fast. I think fast is also very nice, but not in category of creating, and more in the category of how I want to make it. I want to make it fast, because 7 days I have not too much time. So this is the category itself. Here it is small, fast, and too much work. I should avoid too much work. All right, this is the group for itself. This is, I don't know, something like that. We put this together. We don't think too much and hope it works. So this is one group here. We can group this one here together and say, okay, this one, I want to make something small, very fast, and I try to avoid too much work. That's okay. I want to make a horror game. because I have assets and I need my horror game has something to do also with underground, which I don't know how I realize it. Okay, make this a group. I think this is not finished. We have to go a little bit more in this then you can think about it. Okay, a horror game. I thought already a little bit more and I said, okay, probably you have already references, films, other games, or anything else you already know, and then you say, hey, that's cool, this direction is nice, I want to take this direction and then change it and make my own with my own creativity, anything else. Because this horror what I have here, the idea I took from a film more or less, and I said, yes, that's cool, this film direction is nice. They have something with underground, and but I will probably not make it underground, I will just use it. And it's a horror assets game. I have the assets for this. I just take this horror engine like I showed you in the last video. And the last thing what I need here perhaps is a little bit more, definitely, but let's stop here. A little bit more what I want to do is, let's say, what can we do? How the game should be. And yeah, how the game should. So I need a little bit more words. Let's say, okay, I have this horror asset underground. When you hear horror, most time, there is a detective, there is a person or a group or whatever, and they try to find these mysteries, and while they're trying it, or they are living it, then some strange things happens, right? It's not only there are some normal people, but there is some, they try to solve anything. And in my case, I thought a detective is a very nice thing. Detective, let's write a detective or something. Okay. And I think there is even a detective assets. I first saw this also, that's why I use this one here. Again, free assets, I all time this assets here. And then, so when I say a detective asset, I mean so a room, you can use it for an intro or something like that. And then what can we do? So there's a person, a detective, and then you have to build a story. Yes, we should write definitely a good horror story. Let's write here story, and the story is a general word again. That's problems. Let's write it. Story, and the story should be, this detective is trying to solve. Yeah, that's good. We connected this one here anyhow, so not too much thinking. Story, detective trying to solve the vanishing people. Yeah, I have this from a film anyway, a little bit. So, and I write it here, vanishing people. So people are vanishing. This is more the story. Let's make it this way. Let's make, so where this, and I put this here together. The story is a detective who's trying to solve the case vanishing people. That's more it. Cool. Oops, that was not good placing. Cool. Let's make this one here a little bit there. Okay. Let's do this first. Put this here and put this one here. All right, and with that said, I think we are almost done here a little bit. And then let's see, we have a story, we have a detective, we have the vanishing people, and it is a horror game, assets, underground. It should be small, fast, not too much work. Perhaps I should write here not Boolean, not too much work, but it's okay. And here, vanishing people, right? The story is just a detective is trying to solve a case where people are vanishing. And let's go a little bit more. There is a little bit more. First, what kind of game? I said you should try to write also the genre, because now I have wrote here some ideas, but what kind of game you want to make? First person, third person, puzzle game, and or what kind of game? In my case, this horror engine is anyway a first person engine more or less, but you don't have to use it as a first person. But I use it because why I'm using it as a first person. Look, this here on top. I want to make it fast, not too much work. So I use the first person. Let's make it as a first person. First person. That's okay. I decided. That's cool. All right, now I have decided it's first person. Very nice. And I think yeah, we can develop later more, but if you have no ideas, that's okay for now. If you have more ideas, write them down and then kick out what you don't need. And let's see, we have here first person, we have now this horror game, we have the assets as underground, we have the story. The story is the detective is trying to, as a first person, this detective will be seen as a first person, then he try to solve their quests where people are vanishing. And yeah, that's it. And one more info I want to give, very important, because my game will be a little bit with because there are different, still many options how you can make it. So I make it very not so. I won't use. Let's see what I want to use. I won't use much talking, recording. Record all the record gameplay, game talk, or what is called, I don't know what's called, record. Well, what I want to point out is instead of using too much paper to read or too much clicking around, I want that this detective is talking in his head, and this talking I want just record here with my microphone, so the player can just hear what he's thinking and then he can interact depending on that. Let's write here recording thoughts, right? Record thoughts or record detective thoughts. Detective thinking thoughts. Let's write this one. Is this right? I don't know. Okay, I don't know. But this is the idea, more or less. And now we can see what we can do. So the first person, let's arrange this a little bit so that let's arrange this a little bit that I get here an idea. So this, we have here a story. This should be a first person or something like that. And the story, detective, vanishing people, the thought should be recorded. Okay, I put this one here. And it should be a horror game where I have the assets and something underground. This underground makes here no sense, right? This underground comes later with the story. Let's delete this. I need underground later, but I will put it in story later. So that's why we use this one. Let's rearrange this one. Let's see, I don't need this one. And with that set, almost finished, where we put this one, horror asset, first person, story, detective, horror first person, horror. Perhaps I should put this one in this category, first person, horror. And this assets I would say this I need. So this one, assets, small, fast, too much work, and assets I need as well. So let's do this one here as well here in this group. So I say, okay, when you need assets, then let's put this here. All right, I think that's better. Oops, only my. Okay. That's it. That should be it. So my planning is almost finished. This group here and here is the topic. As below, we will make this. And yeah, let's do this one here now. This is this section, so I can here make here one more group. This is this group here. And yeah. So that's very my plan, my absolute cheap plan, but of course, if you make so a plan, you have already probably some references in your head, so you know, like I said, a film or another game or anything you already know and say, I want to make this direction. In my case, like I said, I know already. And yes, and let's make here some connections. We can make here connections like we want. Let's make this arrow here. Or let's make just this one. And we connect this one to here, and that's it. So you can see my plan is very simple, not very good right now, but it's not. It is not needed that it's perfect. Very important, because we are in development. Development means you don't have to make it perfect. But what I have here is that what I want to realize. I won't make it small. I won't make it fast. I need assets, right? I need the assets, and here probably I should write not too much work. And this not too much work is more or less this summary of this here. Small, fast assets will lead to not much work. not there is the not is here missing. All right. And then what I want to make is a first-person horror story. Is the detective, and there is a detective vanishing people, and we will record detective thoughts. So he's thinking, and then he can interact in the gameplay. That's it. And later we have now to figure out how we make the story. That would be the next step. And the story is very cheap. That's why I make it here. I make here, we have here plays. Let's do here some story. Yeah, the story is almost finished here. Vanishing people, right? The people are vanishing. They are. And then, okay, the story is not so easy. The story takes a little bit of time, but let's make it very short here. It's people are vanishing. People. Okay, we have this already, vanishing people. Let's write here story. All right, detective research area. The detective has to research. No, that's too much. Let's make it very short here. Detective search research area. Let's make this one detective research area. Then let's make here. This is our story, by the way. So let's put it here. Detective, also this guy should research the area and then solve. Let's write here one more. I won't make it very short. That's why detective research area following hints and try to survive. Following hints and try to survive. I know the story is not much. This one says nothing. Normally, when you work alone, this one is enough because, like I said before, you have probably a reference in your head. You know the direction you watched in a film or a game which is similar, and then you say, okay, I know exactly what here will happen, right? But if you are working in a group, this one works not, of course not, then you have probably show them the reference. That's the easiest way. For example, you say, I know this film, or I know the story, or this one, watch this, and something like that I want to make, instead of explaining them what you, like I did here, what you want to do, because nobody will understand this one here, what I wrote here. But if you have a reference, like I said, then you can say, here, I took it from there, I want to make something similar like this in this direction, and then they will understand it much more. And with that said, my planning is finished. So you see, that's all my planning. And this one is, let's make here a storyline. To this, that's okay. So that's more or less my planning for my thing. And one more thing before I stop the video. Of course, with this planning, what you can do is save that, but you can go here now to the marketplace, like I said before. I need this assets here, right? So I need now this horror asset that I showed you in last time. Oops, where is this? Why I can't click this here. you go to the marketplace, you go here to the free, here's the section permanently free. Here are other sections too, but this one section here, free for the month, this counts only for 1 month. So all time join in and get here the free assets free for the month. For example, I will use this packet here. The other ones I want not use for this project, I just get them all anyway, but I will use this countryside windmills for this package because I make a countryside. I don't want to design this myself, so I take this assets here, and then what I do is I add this to my project. And here I made already, let's go here, a project. This is the horror engine. First you create this horror engine. Oh, let me show you this one first. So you go down here again to the permanently free section. Here are many free assets where you can start, and you can see there are many nice assets. What depends on the game what you want to make. Here are some effects which you can use and so on. Here, look, this landscape if you want to use. All there are many things, but what I want to use at start is not this. There is a horror engine anywhere, and you download this horror engine when I find it. And then you just create a project. Here is it. You just go in and then you click on it, and then you can create a project. Here you have to create a project, and nice, it's working also with 5.0. That's nice. So I created here this project, you can already see. And what I did then, first I created this project, and then you can go to the other assets which you need for, you can see my planning state. I need assets, and then perhaps this detective. I said there is one more detective, and in my case the problem is in this free assets, if you are lucky you can choose here. There are many nice things here, by the way, in this free assets. The permanently free, from the samples you can take what you want. There are this twin motions, all this kind of nice assets what you can take as buildings. Here are even this flinch this flinch room assets and all this kind of stuff what you can take. Depends on your PC. If you have a nice PC to work with, I have a very low PC, that's why I take only more or less the low poly assets to work fast. But yeah, what you do is you choose just what you need. In my case now I search this detective, so I show you one. I go to my library, for example, where I all time added the free assets. Look, that my library of free assets here is full. This here I paid not 1 cent, and I have here all time because I get the free assets per month and all the other things. Also, you can see it's really full. There are many assets which I can use, and I saw anywhere there was something with detective, and if you can't find it, it's better to use the search bar here. When I scroll this down, I can write here something like detective. Oh no, it's not here, or I write it wrong. No. Oh, anyway, there's a room. Anyway, it's not here. I have to search this one. That would take too much time. There was a detective room or something like that. It looks like so, but I can't find it right now. What you do is you the assets which you like, you just click on it. Let me demonstrate here. Anything. Let me click here. Anything which I will not add. Let's say I add this building here, whatever it is. So you click on this one, and then you go here. Oops, this is again a create project. This one is not the thing what I want to do. So this is not the right thing, not create project. You can see there are other assets who says add to project. You need something like that because I already created here the horror engine. And if you want to use something like which says create project, then you can make this one as well. You create the project, but then you have to migrate the assets to the project. For example, in my case, to this this horror engine, right? This works too, but this needs a little bit more steps. It's just you migrate that what you need. All right, but in my case, I use this add, and I added, for example, let me show. I showed you this. This thing here, this one I added. These are just for test purposes. And when you add this, then you have a very big library here. In my case, I have here the horror engine. This is the horror engine itself. I added for fun this vehicle. I will kick them, but the problem is you should normally add only really things what you need. And again, I use the same trick here like in the other game. I will make two project folders, one where I work, and the other folder will be the folder where I send all the files which I really want to use in my end project. So this one is more just like you can see, add all the assets which I need, and there are many assets which I don't need as well in these assets here. And then I create a map, and then I kick all out what I don't need. I add to this map what I need and send, after I finish the map, to my other project which was blank and has only the assets which I really use. But for this process more in the next video when we go on. The thing is here, you just have to add all the assets which you want and use here in your project. And very important as well, you have not only add to add these assets. Of course, if you have no idea what a horror engine is, you have to test it. Here you can see when I start this horror engine here. This level shows the assets, not the environment. Function. Enter the demo level. All right, and what I want to show you is after you enter, for example, this one, you can see they have created here things, and you have to test this out if this is working what you like. For example, in my game, I know I will not use all of them, but this one, this lighter, for example, I will use, and then you have to see how to use this. Oh, this was is not. It's also not. Where's the lighter? Ah, here. This one I want to use, for example, for my search later, and so on. You test this on. You can see these are blueprints, finished assets, which you can use, and that's very nice. And yeah, more later. So what I want to point out is you should definitely check these assets out if if you like them, if you don't like them, and so on, and later what you want to use or integrate. And with that said, I think I stop this video. And in the next video, we will plan again one thing, because we make here my little Scrum plan, which is really just the start thing where we say widget, where we organize our steps a little bit more. But you know, my little Scrum is not a real Scrum. This is just for my orientation, which is really very simple but straightforward and fast, which is really effective in my way. And with that said, I think now I stop this video and see you in the next video. And like all time, don't give up, have fun, and try out many things. See you in the next. Bye.